Over the last couple of weeks, I've been testing out a lens that surprised me more than I expected. I brought it with me to a motorcycle race, a football match, family gathering, and I even used it on some portraits with a black mist filter on it. And somewhere along the way, I realized something. I think that I've been underestimating the 50mm focal length for quite a while. Of course, we are talking about the Thypoch Simera 50mm 1.4. This episode is sponsored by Thypoch, but as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. They have also given me a 5% discount for you guys. So if you are interested in one of their products, use the link in the description and use the code TIPSinc at checkout. Later in the episode, we will also compare the black mist filter without a filter at all. I wasn't sure what to expect at first, but some of the results really surprised me. For now though, let's head outside. Welcome to another episode of Run Along. My father-in-law still races motorcycles from time to time. This weekend he was racing on a street circuit not too far from home. So there was no way that we were going to miss this. The only downside is that we needed to park a lot further than we expected. We are on our way to support my father-in-law because he's racing today. And I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to test out the 50mm from Thypoch, which is a stunning lens. But we will see how it performs because it's a very bright sunny day and we will use f/16 because I got Portra 800 in it, using the sunny 16 rule today. But I also think we could use that depth of field and also that shutter speed, so we will see. Looking back, this was a pretty good first test for this lens. The sun was harsh, there was a lot of contrast, and shooting conditions weren't exactly easy. To be honest, black and white would have worked here pretty well too. The sun was so high in the sky that the colors didn't really do anything special, except for the pit lane. For some reason, the colors really came alive there.
Ik ben mijn vader kwijt. I lost my dad. Ik zal het gewoon vragen dat iemand weet waar Jan is.
To be honest, I wasn't prepared for a day this hot. I should have brought some bottles of water with me. By the way, all the photos from the race were shot without the black mist filter. We'll get to that later in the episode, because when I started using it, I ended up liking it a lot more than I expected. After finally finding my father-in-law, we had to wait a while because there was an accident on the track. With temperatures like these, having a tent and some ventilation really becomes valuable.
Er komt gewoon warme lucht vanaf, hè? Ja. Dit is wel top.
After sitting around for a while, catching up a lot and hearing some good old racing stories, it was finally time again to suit up and head back out. They had still 2 races left to go. This is my father-in-law's bike, but his friend actually brought 2 of them. He is a serious collector, and it's always nice to hear and see somebody so passionate about something, no matter their age. One of the first things that I noticed is the rendering of this lens. Even though we had a lot of harsh sunlight, the images never feel overly harsh or clinical. The colors looked great, the bokeh was nice, and there is just something that I really like about the rendering of this lens. We'll get a way better look at that later in the episode when we shoot it wide open. My father-in-law made sure that we had these yellow vests so we could get in closer to the action. He is always so proud of us. And because of that, I think half of the paddock already knew that we were coming before we arrived. And of course, Xenia was taking photos too. And I have to admit, having a flip-out screen on the back of your camera really looks nice when you try to photograph low angles like these. Meanwhile, I was doing things the old-fashioned way. Don't judge me. I also had to change a roll really quickly before the next lap. Looking back at these photos, I think I should have panned more aggressively with the bike, especially on those closer shots. A slower shutter speed would have created a more dramatic sense of movement in the image. But the problem was the amount of light. I was already shooting this at f11 or f16 at a shutter speed of 1/500. So if I wanted to go slower, I needed an ND filter. Between races, it was quite a bit of waiting around again. And it was so hot that they even started covering their bikes with umbrellas or blankets. By the way, after this race, we are testing this lens in completely different situations. And that's actually where I started appreciating the 50mm focal length a lot more. For the next race, we moved to a different section of the track to get a different angle. The race photos are nice, nothing groundbreaking in my opinion. Except for the fact that my father-in-law is in them, of course. What I value most about these photos is that I documented the day.
Toch? Hier zo leuk, kunnen ze leuk lopen.
She's location scouting for a shoot that she's planning. So I thought I would walk with her and check out this amazing place. But the spot that she wanted to go to... Oh wait.
Oh, kijk hoe mooi dichtbij. Wow.
The spot that she saw on Google Maps is a 20-minute walk from here. So yeah, I brought the 50 with me to shoot up the last of this roll.
There was exactly one frame left on that roll, so I had to load another one straight away.
So I can develop it and scan it and make this episode. Because I'm so interested and so curious about how the results of this 50mm will look, because I haven't seen it yet. You guys probably already have. But yeah, stoked.
One thing that I do really like about this lens is how it looks on the silver M6. They match so well together. I'm still debating if I need to keep the lens hood on though. I like the look of it, but it does make the lens a bit bigger. So let me know what you think. Lens hood off or on? These aren't my favorite images either, but they do test the lens out well with harsh sunlight and at higher apertures. And to be honest, it handles those situations quite well. What surprised me most though was how much I enjoyed this lens when the light was getting a lot more challenging. Low light, with flash, shooting it wide open at 1.4, that's when things get really interesting.
You guys have no idea how hot it is right now in this scorching sun.
So that was our summer for the year. Now let's head to the football game of my little nephew. And this is where things started getting a little bit more interesting for me. For this day, I also attached the Black Mist Filter. The first thing that I noticed about the filter is how subtle it is. This is the 1-4 version, but they also make a stronger 1-2 version. Or maybe it's a quarter stop and half a stop. Yeah, I think that's it. But to be honest, I was a little worried about using it. I've seen a lot of filters that make things overly dreamy, soft, or it looks like you smeared something across your lens. Luckily, this is not one of those. The effect is there, but it's very controlled. Looking at these first images, you can slightly see that it softens some of the highlights and giving the skin tones a gentler look. Nothing dramatic, just a little bit to take the edge off. And I actually think that this would look a lot more impressive on a digital camera. But we'll get a better look later in the episode where we start using flash and stronger light sources. And while we're talking about filters, they also make this zero reflex clear filter. And honestly, it's probably the clearest filter that I've ever seen. If you are someone who likes to protect their lens but doesn't want it to affect the image quality, this one is definitely worth checking into. On some of these closer shots, you can start to see the effect a bit better, especially on skin. There's a very subtle glow around the brighter areas, but it never feels distracting. Later in the episode, I used the filter with some studio lighting and also compared it directly against no filter. And honestly, the results weren't exactly what I expected. Next up was my little sister's birthday. We had a surprise planned for her, but somehow I think that she already knew where we were heading.
Ja. Wat gaan we doen?
For most of this part of the day, I was using flash. And of course, I kept the Black Mist filter on as well. At this point, I was really curious to see how it would handle brighter highlights and direct flash. One thing that this lens kept reminding me of during the day is how much I underestimated the 50mm focal length. For years I've been gravitating towards wider lenses. But the more that I use this one, the more I think this is a perfect companion to my 28. With using flash, I really think that the Black Mist filter starts showing his character. It spreads the highlights slightly and gives the skin tones a softer transition without making the image washed out. That's what I like most about it. The effect is there, it's never too much and it's never really shouting. And sometimes I think that it even gives the image a little bit more of a warmer caramel look. The lighting at this location wasn't exactly great, but I did want to see how it would perform wide open at f1.4, and partly because I wanted to see how easy it would be to focus with a 50mm at 1.4. Later that evening, I continued to shoot it wide open at the restaurant. And this is probably where the lens impressed me the most, although the mixed light was terrible. The bokeh looks great and there was a lot less vignetting than I expected. And those, I call it cat eye bokeh balls, really make the image have a lot of character. This is one of those lenses where the technical performance is good, but more importantly, it also has some great character. These images are also a great example for what the Black Mist filter does when there is a light source inside a frame. This is really where you see that glow appear around the highlights. And finally, let's compare them side by side. Filter on, filter off, and I'm curious which one you prefer. Let it be known in the comments.
Oh, and the good thing is, with a continuous light like this, you don't have to worry about the max sync speed of the Leica. So now that I've shot 3 photos with the filter, I'm going to try to match the same photos without the filter.
So finally, let's talk about the lens itself. After carrying it around for the last couple of weeks through completely different situations, I think that I've got a pretty good idea where it fits into my photography. And honestly, I didn't expect to enjoy it as much to shoot a 50mm again. The first thing that stands out when you unbox this lens is the build quality. If you've ever used any of Thypoch's products before, this won't come as a surprise. Everything feels solid, well made and premium in the hand. The focus ring feels great and the aperture ring has a nice resistance to it. This lens also focuses to 0.45 meters, which is quite unique for a rangefinder lens at this focal length, which is especially nice for those using a digital camera. But the nice thing for film shooters is that there's still a hard stop at 0.7 meters. So when you are shooting with a rangefinder, you always know exactly where your focusing range starts. Looking back at the photos throughout this episode, I think what impressed me the most is how versatile it is. It handled the bright light at the race without any issues. It worked beautifully during the football game. The flash photos turned out great. And once the light got worse, Shooting it wide open at 1.4 felt good. The 14 blade aperture definitely plays a role in that. The out of focus areas looked smooth, the bokeh stays pleasant, and even some of those highlights in the background really have a nice character to it. Now, I am not the type of photographer that looks all day at bokeh balls, but when they look good, they look good. Another nice feature about this lens is that you can declick the aperture ring. For my photography work, that's not something that I would personally use a lot, but if you are using this lens for video as well, this is something that you can really appreciate. What surprised me the most though wasn't any of those specifications. It was the fact that this lens made me enjoy shooting a 50mm again. I spent years gravitating towards those wider lenses, and don't get me wrong, my 28mm will definitely still be my go-to focal length, but this lens also reminded me why so many photographers really like a 50mm. It gives you a little more separation, a bit more focus, and sometimes that's just exactly what a scene needs. So, is it staying? Absolutely. This lens earned its place in my bag. I'm still debating about the lens hood though. Can honestly not decide. I think it looks good with and without it, but it also might have made sure that the images didn't flare up at the racing track. So let me know, lens hood off or on? If you are interested in this 50mm from Thypoch, the Black Mist Filter, the Zero Reflex Clear Filter, or any of Thypoch's other products, you'll find a link down below. And don't forget to use that code TIPSinc at checkout for that 5% off. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit that like button because that goes a long way. And I'll see you next week. Peace.